Welcome to Rabbitohs TV. My name is Grant Chappell, joined by two former Rabbitohs, Darren Brown, Steve Maven, and it's Fanatical Fan Friday, and we're joined by John Humphries. Welcome to Rabbitohs TV, John.
How are you guys?
Mate, I'm not too bad at all, mate. We might get straight into it, mate. Now, where are you from and what was it like growing up there, John?
Oh, I'm in Adelaide now. I moved here with the job in 2001. Grew up in 100 Regent Street, Redfern. Dad owned a barber shop there, and Uncle Ronnie used to take us. He played about 14 games in the third grade. It was hard to get into the. He used to take me and Mum down there to watch the great Rabbitohs, and I used to do work at a pub down there as a young boy selling papers down the Alexandria, and June, that used to be behind the bar, she bought me this in 1971. And Alan Hyler, who used to play a lot of first grade and all that, used to get them signed and take me down to the ground as well.
John, you just mentioned that you grew up in Redfern, mate. What are your memories of Redfern Oval, going to watch their mighty Rabbitoh teams back in the day?
Yeah, that's right. I remember the best wins I seen was 1971 versus St. George. We beat them 16-10. And then the other win, of course, was 2007-14. I went down there. And one of the best other wins I seen was 2001 when we played the Rauders at Redfern Oval. And the penalty count was about 19-2. Russell Fairfax was playing in the B grade that day, and we ended up knocking them off 11-6 that day. That was a great win.
Yeah, mate.
And the other best win I remember was when we played the Rauders at the Sydney Showground, what it used to be called, and we scored 2 tries in 3 minutes and knocked them off 24-22, and Adam Reynolds kicked the winning goal. That was a great game.
Yeah. So you love us beating the Rauders, eh?
Yeah, I love it.
Mate, just before we give him talking about the Rabbits, what job did you take down in 2001 to get yourself down to Adelaide, mate?
Yeah, driving and things like that. Now I'm an operations manager down here.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
So
the best try I ever seen, that was George Piggins in 1976 against Western Suburbs, where he just mowed it over about 10 blokes and scored. That was
Maybe loves that one.
I do. That was one of that footage is sort of iconic with Rex Mossop calling that, and we're actually going to feature him. Just a little plug for the show this weekend. We're going to feature George Piggins on our Remembering a Rabbitoh segment.
So in 1971, I was in the grandstand, and I remember 1 minute into the game, Mum and I were sitting there, and John Sattler just stood on Purcell's face, and he got sent off after 1 minute, and Purcell got up with all blood all over him. And I heard, I distinctly remember Clive coming out of the change rooms, and he said to Sattler, "Did you forget your mouth guard?" And he just kept walking past him, Mum said, "Did you see that?" And I remember seeing Wayne tackle the bloke at the ref.
Wayne Chisholm.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. I was about 10 feet from him when he knocked him down, and man, I can't remember.
She's that way. But Brownie, your old man might have got his hair cut at John's dad's barbershop back in the day. Might remember.
Yeah, he probably did.
Yeah, well, John, I actually grew up in Great Buckingham Street, which is probably only a stone's throw from where you grew up, and I know you've got your cousins there, the McQuillens, who are heavily involved with boxing, but my family are also involved with boxing. Darby Brown, who's been inducted into the Australian Boxing Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Ernie Mcquillen's my uncle. Yeah. And Johnny Lewis I knew pretty well.
Yeah. So
one of the saddest things I remember was I was at the 69 grand final when we got beat by Balmain, who laid down all day.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and the other sad thing I remember was Ambrose Morgan. Remember him? And he
Yes.
lost his life. That was sad because he could have been anything. He was a great community leader, and
He actually got shot, didn't he?
yeah, at the Irish club. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And mate, also tell us about your Auntie Dot. And apparently she knew the great man, the little master.
Yeah, Auntie Dot, you know, she used to take us down there, and Clive Churchill used to box me around a bit, old Clive, and things like that. And he used to tackle me on the floor when I was at the South Sydney club.
Fair dinkum. Wow.
Yeah, he was a great fella.
Yeah, nice. Nice. So we just talked about Ernie Mcquillen. For people that don't know about him, he's just give us a quick rundown.
Yeah, he was a great fella, mate. He used to tackle me and things like that. And, you know, we used to have fun. And he said, come down to training. So Mum used to take me down to training. And I remember one day that Elba Walders, he was taking the shots at the, because Eric was out that weekend, and he was going to have a go on the weekend at having a couple of shots.
Yeah. No, I think I think we'll still talking about Clive, but I'll just talking about Ernie Mcquillen. He's a bit of an Aussie legend, isn't he, in the boxing game? Yeah.
And Phyllis, his wife, used to live down at Erskineville, and in the later days when she was getting older, one of the boxers used to go down there and pick her up so she could have a $1 bet at Erskineville, and the boxer used to have to wait there until she finished picking her win, and then take her back home down to Urco, you know.
Yeah.
John, Ernie's brother, Cecil, he was a good boxer too, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was a very good boxer too, yeah.
Yeah. And so, mate, you go, James.
Yeah, just
You know,
a quick
and
one, John, just a quick one, Johnny. Mate, look, I mean, you said you live in Adelaide since 2000. What's it like being a South fan in Adelaide, mate? Is there much of a supporter base down in Adelaide? You bump people in the streets, mate?
Yeah, I wear my Rabbitoh gear all around, and I was down at Wollonga last weekend, and this young bloke said to me, oh, Rabbitohs. And I said, yeah, keep talking, mate. I might buy something off you, you know. What do you want to know about the road? And this kid said, I forget his last name, he said he went down there in 89 from Newcastle and was going to start with South, and he was a surfer, really, he was a good rugby league player, and South said, no, you've got to play rugby league, you can't do that or that. He said, I'm out of here, mate. You know, so now he's down here. Yeah. Down here, he's about 40 now. I pushed my son in the pram, and both them, you know, when we got kicked out, you know. Yeah.
So, like the chaps was saying, is there a place that anyone watches it down there, the footy, or you just got to watch it on home at Foxtel or on the free to air?
Yeah, I watch it all the time. I go down to Sydney once a year and watch a game, you know. That's.
And so, mate, we've seen your show, just that autograph book before. So you've got a bit, and you've got a bit of memorabilia. So you like collecting stuff, and do you still get any more autographs or stuff like that?
Yeah. I still do. You know, these are so many good people. You know that. You know, June, who used to be Alligator, she gave me this when I was about 10, and she said, "Keep onto it," you know. And that's as rare as a hen's teeth.
Oh, wow, the bobblehead doll. Where'd you get that one, mate?
That's from the 60s. That's from the 60s.
Wow. Fair income.
Yeah.
John, you've just mentioned that you've been a lifelong supporter for many years. Who was your favourite player back in the day?
Bob McCarthy and Paul Saint, mate. They were just great players, you know, Brownie. They were just, you know, Paul Saint, he could play anywhere, any day, you know.
Yeah.
But Bobby McCarthy, you know, even when he went to the that other team, you know, he was the leading try player for them for 3 years, you know. Yeah. Then when he came back to us, he was, you know, give it to him all the time, you know.
And what about your favourite player in the modern day? Who do you like watching and supporting? And
well, the modern day, probably Greg. You know, he was the best one, you know.
GI.
You've named a couple of good ones there, mate.
He was a great player.
Yeah.
He
But
goes
Bob
all right.
McCarthy is probably the best one I ever seen. And Paul Saint, he was just awesome.
Yeah.
Every time you went there, you know.
Yeah.
Who's your favourite player of all time, Brownie?
Oh, look, mate, I seen many of them when we're coming through the grades, and the one player that I admire the most, and I would have loved to have played with this bloke, and that's Sam Burgess.
Yeah,
I think
yeah.
he's probably one of the best
awesome player.
forwards.
Yeah,
One of the best forwards that the game has ever seen.
yeah, I reckon.
Yeah.
Mavo, who's yours?
I always just think of the Redfern Express, Terry Fay, because when I was a young fellow, I used to go and watch the Bunnies and the Hill at Redfern, and we didn't have much success back in those days, but he used to score plenty of tries and give us a bit of entertainment back in the day.
Yeah, he was awesome.
Yeah, chaps, who you got?
You want to ask me? All right. Look, I would love to have seen Clive Churchill play. Like my father was lucky enough to see his whole career, and I've heard many, many stories about him. His legendary feats. But I suppose in my lifetime, I can't go past Greg Inglis, man.
No, Inglis was awesome.
His influence on a South Sydney result. If Greg was on, Greg was on. There was nothing anyone else could do about whether we're going to win or lose. He was tremendous player.
That's right. I agree with that, mate.
Powerful athlete. Even when he was at Melbourne, some of the things he did at Melbourne Storm were just phenomenal.
Yeah, we're lucky that we got him.
Oh, we were that lucky to get him. He was signed with Brisbane. We actually, I think he never signed till Christmas Eve.
That's right.
I think it was the end of 2010, Christmas Eve. So that was one of the greatest Christmas gifts I've ever been given as an adult. There you go, John.
Yeah, go the Bunnies.
Now, John, what have we got to do to beat Penrith on Saturday night, mate?
What have we got to do? We've got to be honest and be on our game. If we're on our game, we'll beat them.
Play some South Sydney Rabbitohs football, John, and if we get our plays on, I don't think anyone can stop South Sydney. If we get the right field position and a bit of possession, we're unstoppable, in my opinion.
That's right. Right.
Well, John, you've been great for our Fanatical Fan Friday. We love having fans like you on who love the club and got a bit of history there to share with us. Thanks for joining us on Fanatical Fan Friday. John Humphries.
Thank you, guys. Go the Bunnies.
Good on you, John.
Thanks, Johnny.
Up the Rabbitohs.
Yeah, for sure.